Well, everybody, it is June 29th. I made it to Harpers Ferry yesterday. I am currently traveling 4 miles out of town, which is to say I'm basically in Maryland, and staying at a hostel there. And in the morning, I will be getting up, heading northbound where we're at. So much for privacy. We're going to try this again. Okay. So yesterday I made it to Harpers Ferry, and I basically skipped 238 miles of trail. That is from the James River footbridge all the way up to Harpers Ferry. 238 miles. I'm going to go back in the fall to finish up that part of the trail, and I did this for a couple reasons. One, it's taken me way too long to get where I'm at, and because it's taken me so long, I've spent more money than I planned to. If I continue like I am, I will never make Katahdin because I will blow my budget slap out of the water. So I am currently staying at a place called Cross Trails Hostel. This place was budgeted. I knew I was going to be staying somewhere in Harpers Ferry. This place is 4 miles outside of town, again, close from Maryland, and it was cheaper than staying in town. Going forward, there will be less of these stays. There will definitely be more time in my tent or in a shelter, most likely my tent, until I make it up to, say, Maine. In Maine, there are areas where I may not have a choice but to stay in a hostel. The farther north you go, the more expensive everything gets. Right now, my shuttles that's pretty much what's ate up most of my budget that I had for this half of the trail. And which leads me to the next reason that I decided to skip. I made the horrible decision to hike around some folks that just were not at my speed. I'm not saying I'm the fastest hiker by any means. I'm just saying that I knew that I could do 20, 25, 28 miles a day. I've already had quite a few 28-mile days, several 26-mile days. And when other folks are doing 10, 12, 15 miles, it just bogs you up. You run out of food, you have to go into town, you have to worry more with the weather, and you end up getting stuck somewhere in a hostel or even in a hotel for multiple days. So that's what has gotten me to where I'm at. And my little voice told me that if I wanted to finish, and I am starting to feel and believe that I can finish, I had to make this decision. And today's the 29th. So tomorrow I will be heading out of here, again, Maryland, then Pennsylvania, and so forth. If I don't make Todd, and if something happens, then none of these miles that I skip's really going to matter. But if I do make Katahdin, which I'm trying, um, if I do that, then I'll come back in the fall. Much better foliage. Right now everything's so green, and there's just leaves filling up all of the views. I mean, the trees are full, so it's hard to get a good view. And when you're doing the Shenandoah section, it routes you up kind of on the road and where some of the viewpoints are, and then back down the woods. If I was to walk Shenandoah right now, look, I would probably road walk most of it so I could get all of the views. Not to mention all the food at the little way stations. But in the fall, it'll be a much more pleasant hike. Temperatures will be cooler. Again, fall foliage and plenty to look at. And there'll be a little bit less people. I'm not saying a lot less people, but a little bit. I believe you have a lot of people out here, the leaf lookers. And right now, with the heat, and again, not being able to see anything, it starts kind of just feeling like a routine, almost like a job. I'm not saying it's taking the fun out of it, but it's kind of taking the fun out of it. Not to mention I'm sitting there crunching numbers, looking at everything, the miles, and this. I don't want to do that. In fact, I haven't even really recorded anything. What little bit I've been recording was just enough to get some shorts out, and part of that is because I didn't really feel like it. I was filling up my phone, my memory, and some of the video quality was coming out just cruddy, kind of over compressed, and I just didn't like it. So I pretty much was recording just enough to make some shorts. And going forward, I'm going to try to get back in the routine of recording and making a little bit longer videos. The problem with that is I have had crappy service out here. I was actually in a hostel, not a hostel, I'm sorry. I was in a shelter on Mother's Day, and there was a lady in the shelter. She had AT&T, and she was able to get a phone call out from inside the shelter. I stood outside the shelter, tried to send a text message. I couldn't get anything, and apparently that's kind of an ongoing issue. I've heard that AT&T put a lot more money into these rural areas to where their towers are better than Verizon right now. I don't know that that's true, but I kind of feel like it is after watching a lot of these folks with other services. Even T-Mobile at times has service where Verizon does not. So I do believe that there's something going on there. But without any kind of cell service, it's nearly impossible to get a video out. I mean, there are times that these shorts are 60 seconds, and there are times it takes 20, 30 minutes just to get that little 1 minute video up. That's ridiculous. Uh, Heaven forbid it's a 9, 10, 15 minute video. It's just not going to happen. With all that said, I'm not going to edit a whole lot of this out. I'm pretty much, and I may even send, if I cannot get this to go up at 1080, I'm going to do whatever it is, 720, I guess, just to get this out because I wanted to update what's happened or what is going on. I've already sent one package out today. I'm hoping to get through the UPS or the post office this afternoon to get another package out. The other one, all I had to do was bounce it. It was already at the post office. Uh, I have to physically get into town to get another package out, somewhere around 130. I have a lot of food sitting at the house that is just waiting to be sent to me, and honestly, that might be what saves my hike. Uh, I'm also going to change up my diet a bit. It is hard to even say this, but I'm actually gaining weight out here. I have been on several scales. In the first month, I lost about 5 to 6 pounds, is what the scales are averaging. Well, since then, it now says that I've gained about 12 pounds. And I'm trying to figure out how that's possible. And there's only one explanation, and that is my body has become a bit more efficient at burning calories, and I have too many calories that I'm intaking every day. I am not sitting out here filling up on Pop Tarts and cinnamon rolls and jelly beans and Sour Patch Kids. My packages are very well balanced between proteins, carbs, and fats. Uh, but the fact is, I just I have too many calories. So I'm going to back off on that. Not only because it's just too much weight in my bag that I'm carrying that's unnecessary, but also because we're getting into an area that the water is starting to get a little scarce. There's several sections coming up, 14, 15 mile sections with very limited water. Uh, the more I eat, the more I'm going to want to drink, the more I need the water for digestion. So I'm going to go to basically a breakfast, the dinner, and then just snacks throughout the day. If I start feeling hungry or I'm start to feel like I'm suffering from nutrition, I'll increase my calories again. But currently, I'm doing pretty good with that, and we'll just have to see how that works out. We do have a lot of pop-up thunder showers slated between now and I do believe Monday. That could kind of mess things up a little bit. But I'm not going to just sit around a hostel. I can't do it. I can't afford to do it. It's bottom line. Um, Right now I've already got one place. It's roughly 18 miles from here that is a pretty nice campsite. The only problem is if it's full, then I may not have a place to camp. I have to move on. If that's the case, the next site's going to be somewhere around 21, 22 miles. Again, the other day I did 28 miles in 10 hours, and that was not easy climbing. That was also a lot of downhill, a lot of rocks, some scrambling in places. So I know I'm capable of doing the miles. My knee is 100% better than what it was. I believe what little bit of issues I'm having now is just going to be there. I think it's going to be there until the end of the hike. It's going to be. Shoes, my second pair of shoes that I've been wearing, they've done really well. I did go ahead and swap the insoles out. I had a little heel issue in one of them, so I decided to go to the Super Feet, and they have kind of a hard plate in the heel that was helping with some of the rocks, and definitely took care of that problem. Man, these gnats. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's it. So again, if I come up with something before I post this, and I'll add it in. But I hope what I've put out and what everybody has seen, I hope you're enjoying it. I'm trying to keep it as real as I can. I'm not. I don't want to fluff anything. There's so much out here that are lies on YouTube. Virginia is far from flat. I was coming into partnership shelter, and I was absolutely angry. I mean, oh Lord, I was angry. I was throwing a fit that day. That was a 27-ish mile day, and it was a struggle. I made it, and I made it before the time that I had scheduled to meet somebody, and I was angry at the trail planners. I was angry at the trail. I was angry at every rock that I was kicking and tripping over and rolling my ankle on. That's the only day that I think I've ever really had kind of a meltdown. And I do have that footage. I'll have to find it. I think it's on my other SD card. So what's probably going to happen is you'll see some footage that is just kind of out of place. It might just be like a montage, I guess. I do have a section where I went over McAfee Knob. I did not film a whole lot at Dragon's Tooth. Dragon's Tooth was a beautiful day, but there was so many people around, and I just didn't film a lot. McAfee Knob, it was cloudy, storm was coming in. I was able to get a little bit of footage. I'll try to get it today, but I don't know if it's going to happen. At some point it will, but again, it might just be out of place, out of the timeline. And as far as what I'm doing now, once you see this, I'm pretty much going to wipe my phone. I'm pretty much just going to clear all of my storage so that I can have a fresh, clean start. I'm looking at this as this is the second half. Everything that's behind us is done and over with. Let's start fresh. That's what I'm going to do. Also, there's not a lot of stuff to really film right now. I mean, a lot of the flowers are gone. I mean, it's pretty much just a green tunnel that they always call the AT. And so there's no point in just filming me walking through a green forest. Anything that comes up, yeah, I'll get some footage of that. Views have been scarce here lately, which is also one of the reasons I quit filming. I mean, like I've been literally 2 or 3 days, and what little bit of view you're supposed to have, there's nothing there. Between the smoke, between haze, between all the trees, I mean, you get there and you're like, yay, oh, and you just keep walking. So that's kind of an explanation as to what's going on with the videos. But again, no matter how much I manage to get footage I get, if I can't get it uploaded, it's just sitting on my phone or it's sitting on my memory card, and there's nothing I can do about that unless I'm somewhere close to a library that has really good internet, or I'm at a hotel or something. If I cannot get decent internet, it is nearly impossible to get anything uploaded right now. Um, the footage that you had from Grayson Highlands, I was in Buena Vista and stayed at a B&B. Their internet was awesome. It took maybe 30 minutes to upload everything. Like, it was done, over with, processed, good to go. I wish that was how it was everywhere. I mean, that was like a 22-minute video, I think. And I mean, it took no time. I have not used the internet here at the hostel, so I have no idea what it's going to be like. But anyway, I've rambled on now for 16 minutes, and I need to see if I can get into town and get this package mailed off. The sooner I get that taken care of, the earlier I can start in the morning. I have every intention of trying to be out of here pretty much as soon as the sun's coming up, and I'm just going to take off walking. But with all that said, I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and everybody back home, miss you, love you guys. I think that's about all I had to say. Yeah, have a great day. That's Harpers Ferry, everybody. There's a lot of smoke in the air, causing a lot of haze. There was a warning for poor air quality. Jefferson's Rock. That's where the trail comes down into town. And I will be staying about 4 miles outside of town in Maryland.